Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about 7 ways to repurpose your content. So we've talked about a little bit about repurposing, but we haven't talked about how you can do it. So a little background, why you should be repurposing your content. The fact of the matter is, let's look at Neil. Sometimes he's spending, a couple $100 or a couple $1,000. Sometimes we're talking 5 figures for a piece of content. If you're going to do something like that, why shouldn't you maximize the value or maximize the legs on a piece of content, right? It's just like when you're driving a car. When you get a car, you want to drive it to, for most people, you want to drive it to, when you can't really drive it anymore. You want to maximize the value, right? So that's the whole impetus of this topic. So way number 1 in terms of repurposing your content. I'll give you an example. We do this podcast and we use Libsyn. Libsyn will push this to YouTube. It'll push it to LinkedIn. It'll push it to Twitter. It'll push to all our channels at once. And, the fact that it's pushing to all these channels helps us, right? We're getting found in all these other areas. So publishing to multiple channels at the same time, if you can, using a tool like Libsyn for podcasts, or you can use a tool like Edgar as well. That's meetedgar.com. It's going to help you because you're maximizing the mileage on your piece of content.
Yeah, the other thing you should be doing is reposting it. So we do, every time I write a blog post on neilpatel.com, I go on LinkedIn, I put the title of the blog post, I put the first few paragraphs, and then I put a read more link that goes back to the blog post. It just helps me get more traffic, helps me get more eyeballs, and it helps me grow my LinkedIn community at the same time.
Great. And the next one is what you can do. Let's say you do a video or a podcast, for example, right? I'll just go back to the last example. So if I interview Neil on a podcast, so I talk to him about, why he pays so much for content, gives away for free, but there are a lot of insights from the interview that I did with him. You can actually break that up into 5 or 6 pieces of content. So basically take a video, take a podcast episode, if it's long, slice it up into different ones, rename it, optimize it for YouTube, and then you have more pieces of content. One content becomes now 6 pieces of content.
Yeah, and then the other thing I would do if you're going to repurpose, like I do blog posts, Eric writes blog posts. We also take some of our most popular blog posts and then we turn them into the podcast. Like we literally repurpose the exact title. I know that may sound bad, but the reason we do that is you don't want to do it just to reuse the content. You want to reuse the most popular content, right? And we base it on social shares. So I'll go to my Facebook fan page, or Eric will go to his blog post, or blog, and see what got the most social shares. That'll tell us what to repurpose into video, podcasting, etc. For us, a lot of times we just do it into podcasting.
All right, number 5 is put it on SlideShare, for example. So if you have a really long post, figure out same thing. How can you slice it up? Put it onto SlideShare, or if you have a good infographic, put it onto SlideShare as well if you can slice it up, because SlideShare is owned by LinkedIn. Oftentimes there's people I know that have driven, a couple million views for their slide. So if you have something that's really good, why not try to repurpose it? Especially you want to get in front of a B2B audience. Why not?
Number 6, partnerships. So if you look at Entrepreneur, when I guest post on Entrepreneur Magazine, a lot of times that same post, if it did well, goes on to Business Insider. The same goes with your own posts. You can do partnerships where other people take your blog content and put it on their blog. They do a rel canonical, so you get all the SEO juice, but it just gives more eyeballs. You can also do that with your webinars. At Kissmetrics, when we used to do a webinar, and I haven't been there for years, so I don't know if they still do it, but when we used to do webinars, we would then go find people like Unbounce or Optimizer or whoever, partner with them, and reuse the same exact webinar and do a joint promotion to their list, and we do it just for them. So instead of just saying like, this webinar is brought to you by Kissmetrics, it'll be like, this webinar is brought to you by Kissmetrics and Unbounce. So we would do the same exact version for their list, which helps us get more eyeballs.
Number 7, use it for speaking engagement. So if you're going live and you have really good content that's proven itself already, it performs well on Facebook, performs well on analytics, why not take that content and repurpose it into a talk? It works really well and it's proven content, so why not take it out there? So what you're seeing is, with this repurposing idea is a lot of people haven't seen your content. A lot of people just like to hang out on YouTube. Some people will, they don't go online. Maybe they just go to speaking events, which is not likely, but just give you an extreme example. But, most people haven't seen your stuff, so it's okay to repeat. Sometimes, if I even look at the podcast episodes, sometimes we're talking about the same stuff in a different way, right? You look at how we're talking about this topic, for example. In one of our past episodes, we talked about, should you be repurposing your content? In this episode, we're talking about, here's some other ways to repurpose. So we're kind of repurposing, a lot of these things. So anyway, that's it for today's episode of Marketing School. We'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.